Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just got back from watching Ford vs. Ferrari, directed by James Mangold and starring Christian Bale and Matt Damon. So when it comes to a lot of these based on a true story films, a lot of them tend to go through several different motions, and especially when it comes to films that have a big basis in American history. Thankfully, James Mangold happens to make this film not necessarily unique, but definitely entertaining enough and well written enough to make its 2.5 hour runtime never seem boring. In fact, if it wasn't 2.5 hours, I wouldn't have even known that because it felt 30 minutes shorter. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that a former racing legend, Carroll, played by Matt Damon, and a current hothead driver named Ken, played by Christian Bale, are both working with Henry Ford II when it comes to finding a way to build a car that can defeat the Italian car company Ferrari. Their solution? Make a car that's faster than Ferrari and can overcome them at the Le Mans race, the 24-hour race in France, to prove that they have the superior vehicles. And the movie is basically all about them building the car, giving it tests, and eventually having it ride on the big race day. So, it's actually a movie of two parts, basically. It's one part character drama for both Ken and Carroll and the people who surround them, but also a awesome car racing movie full of action-packed sequences of crashes, fast turns, and a lot of testing when it comes to the Ford vehicles. Now, it's obviously the film is very much on Ford's side, as I expected, but the characters in question, or I should say the portrayals of real-life people, are done with a sense of nuance and respect. Carroll and Ken especially have really well-fleshed-out personalities, and I love the rapport between them. But that's mainly just because Matt Damon and Christian Bale have good chemistry with each other. Whether they're fighting or teasing each other or celebrating their accomplishments, they always feel genuine. It never feels like an act. And I can also say that for several other side characters as well, such as Ken's wife, his son, Henry Ford II and his executives. They all feel very distinct, even when their characters are pretty typical of their roles. To the point where I almost considered the Ferrari boss 2 steps away from being an Italian mob boss, based on the way he acts. But I guess being in charge of a company that's a rival of the main character's company would do that to you. Plus, the racing sequences are some of the best you'll see outside of a Fast and Furious movie. They're flashy, they're full of quick cuts. There's tons of things going on, but not so much to the point where you can tell where everything is. It's some good filmmaking, and James Mangold, and can direct some great action. But even when it comes to the other stuff in the movies, the drama, the comedy, and especially the relationships between the characters, that's all done pretty well too. And I appreciate that the film, despite the fact that a lot of it has a lot of talking, it's well written. It's got a lot of quotable lines, and it never feels boring. It's very easy to make these dialogue scenes boring, but they never have too much exposition, and they never have too much repeating information. It's all tight, focused, and filled with a lot of edge. Well, a lot of a sharp edge, I should say. So, there's not much else to say about it. It's a good movie that might be a little bit too long for some, but to me, it felt just right for this kind of film, and you should definitely see it. I give Ford vs. Ferrari an 8 out of 10. See you next time.